Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the AI Office Hours. Kicking it off here for the recording. We're just going to jump into the awesome part, but for those who are watching this on YouTube, make sure to check out the links in the description for any risks and limitations and just general guidance in our prompt library so you can make the most of it and avoid any potential issues. So I'm going to jump over now. Thank you, Connor, again for joining us. And I'm going to jump over to ChatGPT and we will start with our first question. So, Jeffrey, what is our first question from our lovely participants today? And while you're finding that, for anybody who's following along, you can go to chat.openai.com and create a free account. We're going to be using ChatGPT 3.5 today, which is the free version. It's awesome. It has data up until currently April 2023. If you pay for the full version, which I believe is $20 a month, you get GPT-4, which has a lot more connections that it's able to make between data and get much more complex answers. You can also connect it to DALL-E and create images and art within the chat, and it has the ability to browse the internet, so it has a lot more accurate and up-to-date information. It can like search Yelp to find competitors, all kind of stuff like that. All right, Jeffrey, what do we got for our first question from the audience?
Okay, so not necessarily our first question, but Alycia Murphy had put in here about wholesale retailers for adults and youth and children, had also sent their Facebook page as well.
Yeah, let's jump over.
And
Oh, yeah, Arnesia, if you have a specific challenge with your business, definitely let us know. We usually see things like trying to, get leads or make more sales. And so what I've done now is I've just jumped over to our prompts library, which you all can have access to. It's all free. Smallbusinessprompts.com will redirect you to our blog here where we have this page. We have some guidelines on how to get started, a little cheat sheet. We're going to have to remove this today, Ashley. It's so sad. This is our last office hours for a bit. If you like these, definitely let us know so we can do more. And then we've got different categories here. So we've got a few for specific verticals. Retail might be a really good one for you, Arnesia. And then we've also got business objectives. So for you selling physical goods, we also have ones for people having digital products or service-based businesses. And then this is our OG section is by category. So a lot of them have to do with marketing, but there's also some for productivity, selling, support. Starting a business is a really good one for those of you who are just in the initial stages of your journey. And business operations has some really cool stuff for kind of just optimizing your operations, tracking certain key performance indicators, and kind of some more of that sort of stuff there. So I don't know, Connor, do you have, so Arnesia says still learning, startup stage, growth awareness. Maybe we want to start in starting a business. Do you have a category in mind, Connor, you want to jump to?
I mean, I think starting a business for now is a great place. That should be beneficial to everybody on the call. And the biggest first thing to keep in mind, even as you're looking at this, because this library is growing and growing and growing, is don't get overwhelmed. Like, this is just one of those tasks that you break down into small tasks. And what AI is really good at is taking, like, you've got 10% of the task is figuring out what you want to do, and 10% is that polishing at the end, and then the other 80% is kind of that slog. And AI is good at that slog. So don't get overwhelmed at first. You're still going to do that first 10% where you're like, all right, who am I talking to? What am I selling? Like, what do I want to do? Because what the AI, and you can see Alicia's doing it right now, she's kind of filling in this prompt Mad Lib style. We've got like most of the general information set up for you, and then she's filling in the specifics. That's what you need to have ready to go. So you're just going to ask yourself a few questions about what your goals are and what information you have now, and then you're going to plug it into the prompt. Like, she just added wholesale, so think about keywords. And then, you're going to plug it in and you're going to see what happens. And then if it doesn't work and it doesn't give you quite what you want, you're still going to be closer to knowing what you want. And you're going to do it again, but you're going to do a slightly better job of it. So just don't get overwhelmed. Don't be afraid to jump in. The best way to learn is to, look at this. It's just spitting out good ideas for you. All right, so let's see what we've got here.
Yeah, so I'm just going to read the prompt. I usually try to do that for folks, but again, you don't have to have crazy prompts like this. We've tested and optimized all of these with prompt engineers and our internal enthusiasts at GoDaddy. It's something that we love at playing around with and exploring with, and hoping just to get entrepreneurs like yourselves access to this. For those who are maybe afraid of AI or not sure how to use it, we just wanted to be able to create this content so you can see it's very easy. But you can just say like, "Hey, I need help with my wholesale business," and it'll be like, "Cool, what do you need?" And you just chat with it like you would with a friend or a consultant or an employee. So for this prompt, focused on cost-effective marketing strategies, which is one I think all of us would love more help with. Act as an expert growth-focused marketing strategist. Suggest 5 cost-effective marketing strategies for a wholesale handbag business in the retail e-commerce industry. Now, the reason, like, this sounds a little like funny English, I'm keyword stuffing here, essentially. I'm trying to give more context to AI. So it's looking, oh, you're wholesale. What do I know about wholesale marketing? What do I know about the handbag audience and business? Oh, it's for children and youth. Okay, great. I can think more about that. And then knowing that it's e-commerce, I kind of made that up on your behalf, Arnesia. So hopefully that's fine. That just, again, will allow it to think, okay, what do I know about retail strategies? And it puts all of this together, and you saw how fast it responded. So it's going to say, create some blogs, attracting youth, style tips, fashion tips, and parents shopping for children, informative guides, trend analysis, share them on social media or an email newsletter. Obviously it's picking some social platforms that are going to be ideal for a retail audience, targeted ad campaigns, contests, giveaways, again, segmenting your list based on the age group preferences. So it's got some great ideas, influencers, collaborations, a referral program is such a great idea. Word of mouth can be really great for this type of business. And then, maybe not as cost effective for paid advertising, but definitely looking at ways to optimize with SEO. If you're a local business, local SEO tips and stuff as well are really great here. So you can see how fast it was. I don't know if Connor, if you'd have anything you'd want to add to sort of looking at this, but this is very typical for a lot of our prompts where it's giving you advice. And if you're like, I don't know how to create blogs, like you can ask it, and we can even come back to, we have a section of our blog for content creation.
And you can also, on that note, you can ask it to like remove stuff. It's like, okay, I don't want to do a blog. Like you can give it feedback in there if there's something in here that you don't like, and see if it changes its overall plan according to this. And I mean, most of the stuff you get is something like this, where it's pretty much generic good advice. And what it's doing is it's shaving off time, right? It's taking a little bit of time. This isn't stuff you couldn't think of on your own. It's just stuff that, or you couldn't think of with a little bit of time and research on the internet. It's just something that's taking that step out and getting it out there for you. So your goal is just to, once you've read through that prompt, be better informed about what your future path is. And maybe you're going to go, okay, I mean, this is a great example of it. I do want to do social media, or I do want to do a blog. And you go, okay, well, we have a prompt for that here too. So you go, okay, what would that mean for me? What would my social media be? You can see you can start plugging things into this prompt if you wanted to. I'll leave that.
Yeah. One of the nice things I want to demonstrate too is because it already knows about the business, you don't have to re-enter these verticals or audiences again. You don't have to say, you can just say for my business. So I don't know if I typed this right, but adopt the mindset of a creative digital marketer, right? We're giving it a role to act as. So it's taking content from what it knows about creative digital marketing strategies, and then propose 5 unique and engaging topics for social media posts aimed at my business. Your idea should be innovative and relevant, crafted with the intention to capture attention and generate interest. All right, so it's going ahead and not just creating the high-level ideas, but also a little bit more about what the video should look like, how to use storytelling. If you're even like, I don't know how to storytell for my brand, be like, can you help me develop the story of my brand? Ask me any questions that you need to know. And that's my favorite sentence to add at the end of a prompt is, what questions do you need from me? Rather than adding all the variables yourself, you can say, I need help growing my business. What do you need to know? And it'll be like, cool, here's 12 questions. Answer as many as you can. And once you answer them, it's going to spit you out a plan and some advice based on all the things that it would like to know about you. So that was something that came out of a later office hours. Connor was like, I came across that like, yes, ask me questions and then give me advice. So yeah, there's some really cute ideas here. I love that, like handbag adventures. Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, next one, Jeffrey.
Next one is from William Lawrence. William says he needs marketing help for my transportation business. I want to create content to bring people to my website. So a freight and brokering. They're out of Baltimore, Maryland, and they would like to attract shippers and freight forwarders
Ooh, I love this.
via
All right.
LinkedIn, etc. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I might get you to come back with some of those to make sure I didn't miss any of them. So I'm going to grab
Okay.
this one because it's so great. The content calendar, we often will show this one off because it's just a great way to show how you can generate tables and then copy them over into like Excel or Google Sheets. So embody the strategy of a skilled content marketer. That's the role. Here's the task. Develop a comprehensive 6-month content calendar for a freight transportation. Was it, Jeffrey? I'm going to need those variables now.
Yes. For my transportation business and freight brokering.
See, I don't know what that is, but ChatGPT will figure it out. So, all right, what else do we know? There was something about the audience as well.
They're based, if we want to put this in Baltimore, Maryland, they would like to attract shippers and freight forwarders.
It's been such a great exercise in getting people to watch me type. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I hate it. So the
Do you feel the pressure?
Yeah, I feel it.
Of not making it. Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I've
And,
done all right. The calendar should.
and I know that William specifically wants to create content that brings people to their website.
We want leads, not people. We want leads. The calendar should account for relevant holidays, key industry events, and the unique content needs of each month, ensuring a consistent and timely flow of content. All right. And then I'm not sure if your customer base is primarily in Baltimore. But yeah, let's just go for it. Anything you'd add to this, Connor?
Not at this stage. Let's see what we come up with here. And
format as a table.
Oh, well, okay.
Yes, I might as well just get ahead of it. Okay, cool. So it's going to go ahead and give you the content type, the topic, the description, the week. If you wanted other things here, like give me a target keyword column, you can just respond and say, hey, can you add a column for target keyword? So it's starting off with January. If you wanted it to start this month, you could just say, hey, can you start with December? But then it's go ahead and giving you the topic and the description for each of them. And it's kind of making it timely based on the time of year. Maybe there's industry trends for the end of the year.
That's a great example of where you want to check and use your brain, though, right? Industry trends for 2023 would be a terrible thing to launch in January of 2024. Right?
Yeah.
So this is one of those things where you go, okay, I see what it means, but now I'm going to use my human brain and I'm going to go, wait, it's not 2023 anymore.
Yeah.
When January rolls around.
Totally. And this is like a very actionable, I think, calendar, like 2 blog posts, 2 social media posts, video. If you wanted more or less, or you want to change up this formats, you can also ask it like, hey, can you add rows for different social media types? Like I'm on TikTok and Instagram or something. It knows that March is International Women's Month, and I saw it highlighted Martin Luther King Day. So it's trying to pick out specific days to celebrate that would be potentially relevant for your industry. Sometimes not. Earth Day, it says, again, here's a hallucination, right? Highlight the company's commitment to environmental sustainability. It's just throwing things out there, and you can just say like, hey, can you remove this and that? Or you can say, hey, generate, twice as many ideas, and then pick and choose what you want. But the nice thing is you can copy this table right into Excel or Google Sheets or wherever you want. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. All righty. What's next, Jeffrey?
Give me 1 second, let me go back up to it. Lloyd had a question. Could AI be used to locate possible business subcontractors on the internet?
So this would be a case for ChatGPT 4, I think. There was, let's just craft a prompt for this one because I know there was one somewhere. can't remember if it was a vertical or something, but for looking at like competitors and that sort of thing. This might be an interesting one. I'm trying to find where it was in the chat. They're looking for subcontractors for a specific business type. Was that it, Jeffrey?
Yes.
Yeah. So this might be like the reason I suggested GPT-4 is because it sounds like we're trying to search for like candidates. I'm not sure if this AI is the best one for it. I don't know if Connor, if you have any thoughts. I was just going to say like, hey, can you help me find subcontractors? If we know more about the industry or type, I don't know if Jeffrey, you know who wrote that one. I'm trying to find it myself. Is it in the Q&A?
Lloyd.
Much about the business.
Yeah, if you could let us know with like type of business, like industry.
Yeah.
That would also be helpful as well.
Can you hear me all right? Am I
Yep.
breaking up at all? Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would maybe focus that search on resources for finding people in your industry. I think that'll be, although it'll be interesting to see what it does without that. I'm kind of curious, but if I were just trying to do it myself, I'd say, look for organizations that focus on providing subcontractors to your business.
Yeah, let's just see what it says. Hey, can you help me locate business subcontractors in drywall construction? I'm guessing we need a location. I'm just going to pick Seattle for now, but the whole point, Lloyd, is that you get access to this and try it for yourself, and let's see what happens. So it's doing research with Bing, right? This is a paid version of ChatGPT. It's searching, it's grabbing some things, and it may pick up other websites that it knows are authoritative in this. So I don't know, that was like level 5 ink or something. So it took a look at it. Yeah, so sometimes GPT-4 can be seem a little slower, and it's because it's pulling from so much more information, but the quality of it is quite a lot more. And you'll notice it has citations as well that will link you off to the website. So these are specific subcontractors or contractors within Seattle. Again, if this isn't necessarily specific to what you'd want to see, you could just respond and say, hey, I'm looking for, specifically subcontractors. I see contractors. I don't know if that's, something that we're looking I'm not very familiar with like drywall construction, so not sure if I'm using the right keywords here, but you could ask it for like, give me 10 more. Okay, Lloyd says that's great. Thank you, Lloyd. Awesome. All right, I'm going to switch back to GPT 3.5 and let's grab another question. And people, don't be shy. If you have certain things you want to see, there is so much in our prompt library. We're happy to show off. People are selling retail or service appointments. We can take a look at some of those categories. Anything folks want to see? I think there was a question a little bit earlier as well. Oh, and I see Arnesia has used it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Arnesia asked, can anyone be sued for using AI?
So that's a really interesting topic, and I can't give like any official legal advice on behalf of GoDaddy or, honestly, it's changing so rapidly. But I think that there's a lot of regulations sort of starting to be put into place by various governments looking to regulate AI and the use of it. There's also a lot more tools popping up that are compensating the original creators for the things like AI art. So I think Adobe Firefly does this. Getty and I believe Shutterstock have tools that are compensating the original creators of the content that is being used as inspiration for AI art generation. Not so sure on the text side if there's anything, Connor, that you've come across where they're trying to like mitigate the issues with intellectual property. In terms of being,
there's a lot of stuff coming around on that. But the thing is, this is something that's out ahead of the law. So you're going to need to check in on developments, and what is okay in the US might not be legal in, say, Canada. So you're going to want to keep that in mind. But the other big thing is like, you're still ultimately responsible for whatever content you're coming out with. So if you're doing something with AI that is, and again, this isn't any kind of official legal advice, but keep in mind that just because the AI, like say, plagiarize something or says something that's not true about someone, if you pass that along, you're the one that's responsible for that. Yeah. And you need to be aware of that going forward. The AI does not like shift your responsibility for making content you put out is honest, accurate, and doesn't belong to someone else.
Yeah, that's a great point. And, I think there's some more detail in this blog post about plagiarism and intellectual property concerns. One of the ways I like to think about it, and then again, this is my personal opinion, not on behalf of GoDaddy, like, would you be sued for using Google? Like, if you're using AI to do research, if you're using AI to like skill yourself up and learn, I feel like there's less risk there because you're just informing yourself. But if you plagiarize something directly from somebody else, then you're in trouble. So I think there are some plagiarism detection tools. Don't know if we link to any, Ashley, in our blog at all, but there are some tools out there that will detect AI generated content. So the best bet is to like use it as a way to maybe generate an outline for a blog post rather than generating all the copy. Sometimes maybe you're like, oh, I'm stuck on this paragraph. Can you rewrite it for me? You're less likely to run into hardcore intellectual property if you're getting it to rewrite something and you say like, hey, can you make this in a tone of voice that's, humorous? I think we have a really great example, and I closed at smallbusinessprompts.com. One of the content creation ones, this is a fun one to demonstrate, is for creating humor, right? Maybe you're not a funny person. Maybe you're like me, you're not that funny. You want some help adding humor. Connor, no, I'm not that funny. So I'm going to put this one in here, and let's pick, Jeffrey, one of the business types. Let's throw one of them in here. So act like an entertainer and write, let's say, video script that uses humor or entertainment to engage. Let's pick a target audience, or somebody can throw one in the chat. We can do a little bit of ad-libbing right now. You got one for me, Connor? Target audience.
Well, just put me on the spot like that. Act like an entertainer in a video script that uses humor or entertainment to engage football fans. Let's make it something.
All right.
Easy.
And promote.
And we'll see if it gives us soccer fans or American football fans, because I'm curious.
There you go.
Like I said, always be looking for fun ways to break this and confuse it, because that's half the fun of it.
All right. So what product are we gonna sell to football fans?
Shoe deodorizer.
Shoe deodorizer. All right. Use a combination of humor, storytelling, and creative visuals to make this content engaging and memorable while still effectively promoting the product or service. All right. It might even come up with a name for your shoe deodorizer here.
The Stinky Shoe Showdown. Look at that. Oh, see, I knew, like, I gave it an easy one, but because I knew, like, if you can't find the humor in shoe deodorizer, like,
yeah, we've got a challenge that's smellier than a locker room after a big game. Meet our contenders, lefty and righty. So it's like gonna do like what a Pepsi challenge with the shoe deodorizer. Amazing, dramatically spraying the shoe. So it's pulling in like what it knows about comedy, which is, like I said, a lot more than I know. Now this might be a little cheesy for you. You can tell with that. You can be like, I want it to be less cheesy and more witty, or something like that. So it just goes to show that you can give it a lot. I'm not going to read this whole thing. You should all have fun.
It gave us like an entire like act one of a play about deodorizing your shoes. That's,
I know,
starring 2 shoes. So it's a good starting point maybe for what you want. And yeah, it's a great example of how powerful these tools can be in terms of creating content quickly. And again, it doesn't have to be like, don't expect it to shoot out something like just perfect. It's just there to help you get through to where you want to be. It's a tool or an advisor. Don't think of it as, I think this came up on our first call. Don't think of it as like something that does the work for you. Think of it as an advisor or a, really gung-ho employee that you still kind of have to keep an eye on now and then, and you're going to have a pretty good time with it.
Yep. Awesome. Any other questions coming up for us, Jeffrey?
Yes. Whenever we're talking about, if I can get back up to, we've already done Lloyd's question about drywall. And then there was another one. It was Alfred. Give me 1 second.
I see one.
Alfred, Boston area. Bay State mold advisors are looking to increase clients finding their company. So essentially
sounds
looking for leads.
Yeah, I'm going to jump into the service appointments one, lead generation and marketing here. And this is specifically for service-based businesses. So acting as an expert in service-based business, marketing, and lead generation, provide targeted and actionable advice to a, sorry, one more check. Was it Mold Consulting?
Give me 1 second. Sorry, like I had moved on from that one. Bay State Mold Advisors. Alfred, if you could
Mold Advisors.
elaborate a little bit on that.
I'm not sure if I understand what that is, so I'm just want to make sure I copy it from the chat.
I'm gonna assume it's a service-based business, but I could very well be wrong.
Is this in the
Mold inspections?
Oh, there it is.
Mold inspections, yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Mold inspections, business owner, struggling with generating leads and marketing their services. Your advice should include proven techniques for attracting customers, promoting services, and converting prospects into paying customers. Anything you guys want to add to this, Connor? No, run it? All right. We're running it.
Punch it.
Cool. Alrighty, so create a professional website, make sure that you clearly display your prices, testimonials, before and after photos. I think that would definitely be a good one for this one. And other cases to build trust. That's totally great. Make sure you optimize your Google My Business listing because it is a local business. People are searching for stuff on maps. You can use relevant keywords within your content, and we can come back to this in a different prompt and generate some keyword lists, generate some content based on those keywords. You can generate all the content you want for like the next couple months with a couple hours of using ChatGPT. Again, you need to spend another couple of hours reading everything, making sure it's relevant and actually accurate. Content marketing. So again, this talks about starting a blog, publishing informative articles, and really setting yourself up as a thought leader in the space and sharing tips, news, and industry insights to position yourself as an authority. Sharing them on social and in local community groups. This is such a great idea. With GPT-4, you could probably find some local community groups that you could join as well and find ways to automate those posts. Maintain an active presence. It's suggesting Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as a way to connect locally. Engaging content, maybe even creating infographics, networking and partnerships. I always love this one for local businesses. If there's people who you think would be recommending mold inspections, they mentioned real estates, property managers, and insurance agents. Such a great idea. You can use GPT-4 to generate a list of these that you could reach out to and create connections or networks. Email marketing, regular newsletters, promotions. It's got more and more advice here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but again, it's kind of giving you a bunch of different directions to create leads. It does, obviously pay-per-click advertising is a big one. I think this is an area we need to expand our AI prompt library. But you can just ask it like, hey, I need help running a pay-per-click advertising campaign. Like, how do I do this, right? So it can be as simple as just typing a question. You don't need to use these mega prompts. We just find that they're super helpful to like give it as much context as possible. So how do I do PPC? All right, and then it is going to explain it. It's going to tell you kind of step by step. And at any step, you can break down and say, help me develop my goals, right? So it's already got a question here, right? So you could just answer and say, I'm looking to generate leads, help me pick a platform. Right, so I don't know how to pick a platform. Help me and do keyword research. So you see how it's like a conversation. You just keep chatting, and it's going to tell you, okay, step by step, go access Google Ads, create a new campaign. It's going to tell you where to find it, pulling from, in this case, as of April 2023's documentation on how to do this. Again, if you have GPT-4, it may be able to pull you directly a link to Google's guidelines. And then it's going to talk to you about how to use the keyword tool, how to identify keywords, how to use negative keywords, things that you don't want to show up for, review and launch, and then how to monitor and optimize. And at any stage, again, you can say, how do I monitor and optimize? And it'll break down another list of 12 points or something. So it's such a great like consultant tool employee that you can use, but you're in control. You're the one who's ultimately responsible for the steps that you take. Nothing is guaranteed. there's like a whole culture of people who are trying to use ChatGPT and other similar tools to like, here, if I had $100 and I wanted to make as much money as possible, what would you do? And then they just keep following the advice of the AI. Well, not all of them are making money, like, you know, like, so we're not there yet. It's not we don't have artificial general intelligence. It's actually, this might be a good time to quickly segue and chat about it. Somebody had early on asked, I want to know how AI works. I remember flagging that with a thumbs up earlier on in the chat. So I'll give basically the quick sort of overview from my perspective. Imagine that you have all of the written content, all of the books that have been written, all of the Wikipedia articles, a lot of the internet forums, responses, and content, and you're able to like put that into a funnel, remove all of the toxic or obviously false information, and then tag all of it. So like, here's all of Shakespeare's poems. These are all written by Shakespeare. That's one tag to describe that content. There may be other tags, like this is a romantic one, this is a sonnet, this is whatever. And suddenly the AI is able to put connections together and go, all sonnets look like this. All, you know, biographies are like this, or the writing style of this author is like this. And so with those tags, it's able to develop, similar to the human brain, connections about how it defines information. So then once it's all been processed and it's part of this corpus of knowledge that it knows, when you type something in, it's going into its knowledge base of all of that information and trying to find the connections. And then when it's writing, it's essentially predicting using probability what the next word should be. So that's why we often say, like, give it a role like an expert, because then it's going to go into what it knows about experts in social media and pull out all the best practices from 2023 that it has read and knows about. And it's also going to connect that to your business type or any other identifying information that it knows and provide you with the best answer possible based on that predictive analysis of the next word. With AI art, it's also very similar. If I give you 1,000 photos of a dog and 1,000 photos of a cat, and they're all tagged with dog and cat, maybe the breed of the dog, the setting that it's in, all of these different tags about the image. Now I can ask the computer, is this an image of a dog? And it's like, I predict that that is a dog within 92% accuracy. I think it's a cat within 40% accuracy. I think it's a fish within 20% accuracy, right? So that's kind of how the computer is thinking. And then you can say, give me a picture of a dog. And it's like, okay, I know all these dog pictures. I'm just going to kind of morph them together and slowly go from computer fuzz or, you know, like TV static, that like stable diffusion type of thing. Like it sort of diffuses an image and starts to get closer and closer to what it thinks is a percentage probability of this looks like a dog. And over time, just the engineers who create these tools are tuning them, making them more efficient, fixing bugs, fixing issues. You know, Connor talked about trying to break it. He's one of the intrepid warriors out there trying to find the ways to ultimately improve this by finding where its flaws are. So we're still it's only been just over a year since this tool ChatGPT launched, and it's already, you know, we're seeing AI and everything. GoDaddy's definitely integrating it. Maybe we can chat about that for a second. If you're in the US, this is going to fail because I am from Canada. You can go to GoDaddy.ai. It's taking me to the Canada website. So let me just fix that really quick and go back to GoDaddy.ai. I should really do this before the webinar, but here I am. It'll redirect to our AI for small business page, and you can see like where we're going with AI. Some of the features that are already live. I know some of you mentioned needing to build a website. Our website builder has AI built in, so your product descriptions, your about page, all that stuff. It can create social posts for you. Our Conversations app is super cool. It'll allow you to connect all of the different ways you connect with customers: email, WhatsApp, text messages, Facebook messages, all into one place, and summarize conversations and chats, automatically reply for you or fix your reply. So we have lots of great stuff here, and this page will continuously be updated as we launch more awesome things next year. And some of our awesome blog posts are here as well. So yeah, definitely check that out if you want to see kind of where GoDaddy is going next with our integrations of AI. Obviously, we're going to keep adding to our prompt library and optimizing it. Very excited. We're going to have click to copy soon, so you won't need to like do what I'm doing and highlight the prompt. So that's pretty exciting. I know that was one of the things identified by our team internally as a limitation. So there'll be a little button here. You can just click copy and then come back in here.
We're also doing a lot of work to integrate a lot of this stuff sort of into the more natural flow. So if you are a customer and you do have a website or something with us, like what you're seeing here, our versions of it are slowly going to be sort of moving into more of your overall experience, and potentially not so slowly. So that's a exciting thing that's being developed, as we're looking at ways to make AI work for you within our own platform, not just outside on other people's platforms. So yeah, I mean, this is I can't believe how much work you guys managed to do in a year, actually, Alycia. Like from where we were even like 6 months ago, the amount your team has put into this is incredible.
I mean, huge shout out to Ashley and Stacy for putting this together. I've helped along the way. We've had a lot of external help from true prompt engineers that we've contracted to help us with this. We've had some AI enthusiasts and experts like creating content for us on the blog. We have a whole AI category too. I think there's a lot of it linked here. This is a static one, but if you come into any of these, like our getting started article, this is an older one, needs update now, back in May. I think we have a tag for AI articles. I'd be curious to know how many posts we have now, but we're even getting into developer content for WordPress. We just updated this article recently. There's a cheat sheet here that's really cool. But yeah, we've got 6 pages of AI content now. So if you want to learn anything, there's AI art guides. This is a really great one. Oh, Jeffrey's got
Lloyd,
another.
yeah, Lloyd was just asking, so this is a service. So is this a service or a new tool for users? Just asking about like AI.
Yeah, so this ChatGPT is by OpenAI. We are, like I said, not affiliated or sponsored or anything by them, but it's a free tool. Anybody can sign up for free. You just need an email address and a phone number, and you can get access to this. And then I'm not showing this, but on the sidebar, it has all of my historical chats. I don't need you all seeing what I chat with ChatGPT about on a regular basis. So, but in here with this cheat sheet, there's additional tools. So Google Bard is another one. Perplexity is a good one. Claude for text generation for marketing. These are some great tools. And then here's some design tools. So some visual tools. We can show off a little bit of Dolly potentially. And then in our prompt library as well, if I go back a little bit more, you'll see there's guides for ChatGPT, Bard, and Bing AI. We don't have any specific guides for AI art right now, but we do have some guides on just how to get the most out of AI art tools, just not how to set them up. I don't believe so anyway. Maybe somebody can keep me honest here. But yeah, Lloyd, this is 100% free. This is smallbusinessprompts.com. We'll redirect you here. You can access this. It's not a paid service for GoDaddy. It's just something we're doing for free because we came back from the Christmas holidays last year after having played with ChatGPT all break and basically had to change our marketing strategy because we knew this was going to completely disrupt our industry. And because our mission at GoDaddy is to kind of equal the playing field and allow more opportunity for diverse types of business owners, we knew that this giving small business owners the accessibility of being able to use AI to help them was just going to be a massive value add for them. And ultimately, if you're not using it, potentially your competitors are. And over the course of probably the next few years, we're going to see it become more and more user-friendly, more integrated into everything you're using. But being able to have the advantage of knowing how to use it and knowing what tools are out there to help you is going to help you succeed. And that's what we're here to help you with. So yeah, more to come from GoDaddy in general on the AI front, obviously. But this is a free resource. ChatGPT, Bard, and Bing can all run these prompts. Like I said, we're just focused on the text prompts right now to solve business challenges. All right. I think we have time for maybe more, Jeffrey.
Yeah, we definitely have one more from Robert. So one of the companies Robert represents is 911 Inform, which is a 911 overlay notification and emergency management solution, providing state-of-the-art tools to effectively mitigate any 911 emergency situation. With micro geofencing that provides emergency notification to law enforcement, medical team, first responders, and interactive mapping, camera and door controls, weapon and shot detection, AI and facial recognition, license plate reading, vape and environmental detection. How could you help with prospects for this service?
Well, first off, kudos for really nailing that specificity requirement we put in there. Awesome.
Yeah, I was trying to copy it and it's not letting me copy it, which I was just going to copy it straight up into the prompt. Okay, so let's start from the beginning here and let's just type one out. So act as a lead generation expert for oh my gosh, there's a lot of like stuff here for, sounds like a security service, really, like emergency service notification solution.
And this actually does bring up a good point. The more, because Alycia did an amazing job of explaining like how this works. It's a lot more eloquent than my version of it, which is just a really, really fancy autocomplete function. But no, what it does is it looks at averages, right? So the more specific you are, like if you get really, really specific, you might get into a place where you're not getting very good answers just because there aren't many other organizations doing exactly what you do, which is a great place to be as a business. So in some cases, you might actually want to start from a slightly larger pool, just because everything about this is statistical. And when you have statistical anything, the larger your pool, the smaller your margins of error, the more accurate your responses are, the less likely you are to get really, really off the wall or incorrect results. So, in many cases, it's not a horrible idea to start slightly broader and then narrow it down as you see fit moving forward. That's a perfectly good way to approach a really niche industry like this. Also, I'm just going to throw this out there. Anything you do with this, and I'm sure you know this, because it's involving 911, obviously, make sure you are in contact with people who know the legal ins and outs of it.
Yeah.
And it's looking like it's giving you a lot of information here, so I'll let Alycia run through it and see what we got.
Thanks for filling the space while I was typing that out.
I was trying to take a little bit of pressure off you, so you didn't feel like everybody was just sitting there watching you type.
Yeah, I think I got most of it, hopefully for you, Robert. But again, highly encourage you to get access to this so you can make the most out of it. So again, a lead generation expert, I can help you understand how to effectively generate leads. Again, defining your target audience. It's suggesting things like government agencies, schools, healthcare, and businesses. Build a strong online presence. Again, SEO, website, social. A lot of these you're going to see repeated because they're just best practices. But you'll notice that the content is a little different. What it's suggesting here is not blog posts and social posts on Pinterest. It's suggesting white papers, ebooks, webinars, infographics related to those benefits. More professional. I would not be surprised if LinkedIn shows up somewhere in here. Hosting webinars, networking. Again, it's talking about more industry conferences, trade shows, networking events. If you need a list of those, you can just ask. Collaborate with emergency management solutions providers for cross promotion, cold calling and outreach. So we do have a prompt for cold calling. Customer referrals is a huge one. And then making sure that you're tracking your KPIs and analytics. So you can ask it, again, follow-up questions here, and kind of take any of these steps and start acting on it with the help from AI. So yeah. Cool. That was a fun one. It was like new, but again, you notice I just mostly just verbatim posted what Robert had put in the chat there. So, or in the Q&A box.
Great answer. And it's a really good example of, so one of the really, really cool things about AI is really the less you know about a subject, the more helpful it is. So never be afraid to be like, it takes away that barrier of, I don't know anything about this. What do I do? Because if you're an expert in something and you're asking it questions like that, you already know all the best practices. You've seen it before. If anything you're new at, it's giving you stuff you haven't seen before. And it is really giving you like sort of the distilled version of the internet's opinion of what the best practices are for that. So it's a great gateway to pursue new interests, and it sort of lowers the energy requirement of what you have to put into that to start getting something out. So like, there's never been a better time to try to pick up something new and learn it, or bolster some area where you were like, I wish I knew more about how to do this. My business would be better if I knew a little bit more about this. Like, the sky is sort of the limit on that. So I would encourage you more than anything else, if you go away from this, like, play with it, have fun with it, do cool new stuff that you haven't done before with it, and just see where it takes you.
Yeah. Don't worry about spelling errors either. It'll figure it out. So like, I just wanted to show that you don't need to come in with a mega prompt. Like, please use our prompt library if you find it useful, but if it's overwhelming, just chat with it. So it's like, yeah, I want to help. It's so polite too. You'll notice that when you talk to it, it's very friendly. So it wants details, what's the industry size, challenges, goals, specific. Okay, I'm just going to give it a few answers. And it's like, okay, cool. Again, you're seeing it come up with almost always. And this is such a good, so good for anything that you're trying to do with business is what's your audience? What's your goal? Right. And so it knows based on just a couple things that I gave it about the sorts of things that are going to be important. And it started introducing some new things here. Yeah. All right, Jeffrey, you got one other one for me?
Yeah, actually. Madden said passport marketing. If you could, I just lost my words. If you could let us know like a little bit more, like
That's the passport expediting service, I think, from above. I think it just got missed in the rush. I seem to remember seeing something about that.
Yeah. Yep. What will it suggest to promote passport expediting service? Thank you, Connor.
Anything you'd add to this, Connor? Want to make some things up? I'm just gonna, instead of grabbing a prompt this time, I'm just gonna grab a basic one. There.
I would focus it on a country.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter which one.
Cool. All right. Again, we're seeing, because almost like 90% of the stuff people want help with is marketing or sales. Like you're going to see a lot of the same advice. SEO, relevant keywords. You may want to like ask it for specific advice for keyword research. I would imagine it would probably talk about locations where there's passport controls, social media presence, online advertising. And again, I think if you went into any of these, it'd probably be a little more specific. I love when we get into things like partnerships. Like I said, these get a little bit more specific with great ideas like travel agencies, visa processing firms, other related businesses. They can help you tap into their customer base. Providing customer service. I think that's probably knowing that like passport expedition and just expedition passports and like just travel in general can be stressful. I think it's calling out like, hey, if you have a really good customer service, you're helping people, that's going to make a difference. Attending some travel and immigration related events to connect with potential clients and industry professionals, offering promotions, local advertising. I knew that was going to be in here. Clear pricing, transparency. This is probably what people want the most from your website and your documentation. I think the legal compliance thing is huge. Love that it calls that out. And again, coming back to that like proof point from customers. So great. All right, we're getting close. We have 4 minutes left. Do we have any others, Jeffrey, that we want to try and tackle quickly? Or I think folks were asking in the chat, yeah, how to get the workshop. Yeah, we will be posting it on YouTube. And I think, Jeffrey, you're emailing it out to folks.
Yeah, usually I do send it over to Ashley, and she's able to get it out in the Substack. So usually she does a recap for that as well. So if you aren't subscribed to this Substack newsletter, you are missing out. And also help us reach our Substack newsletter goal as well. Just putting that out there. So please make sure you subscribe, and that's where we'll also do a recap there as well, to make sure that y'all can see and a lot of great information in there as well. And I'm about to link. And
you guys really should do that
as well from Betty.
I'm not one of the people on the newsletter. The team puts together a really good newsletter, and AI is something that changes fast enough that you actually do get like it's useful to have like stuff showing up in your inbox every week going, hey, this is the new stuff, because things are actually still changing there. So seriously, do it. They're working really hard on it, and they're doing a great job.
Thanks, Connor. I know email is close to your heart. It's your daily bread and butter here. So awesome. Yeah, definitely do subscribe to the Substack. You'll make Ashley very happy if you do. And then, you can always change your preferences or unsubscribe. We send one newsletter every week about AI, and we send one once a month that recaps all of the blog posts that are the best we've published for the month. So definitely would love to hear your feedback. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Connor, for jumping on to close this out. I can't believe it, Jeffrey. We've done 8 weeks. of AI office hours, and it's
8 weeks, I
over.
know.
So stay tuned on our Bevy page and our Substack. If we're going to be doing more of these in the new year, you'll definitely be the first to know if you're on that Substack list. And it's just an email newsletter Substack. If you haven't had Substack before, it's just an email newsletter service. So yeah, Arnesia, it was so nice to have you. Thank you for all your questions, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Yeah, thanks so much. This has been so much fun. And thank you again, Connor and Jeffrey, for all your work on these.
Thank you. And thank
Always-
you, Ashley and
always
Stacy
fun.
as well. Got to give a shout out to our ladies. Like, we cannot forget about them. And also don't forget to subscribe to the Substack. Let me,
In case you missed it, do that.
I know. I want to put it back
in case we didn't mention it.
Because somebody asked about it again, and so like that's why I brought it up. So yes, but thank you everyone, and have a great holiday, and see you in 2024. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.